Serve the castle's lord well, and you will be taken care of. That is our role here. Take pride in it, as not many girls get an opportunity like this. Do you understand, Okiku? Okiku nods at her mother's words. Being born into a family of servants, serving Himeji Castle, this day was inevitable. The day where all the childhood training and lessons would finally be put to use. Serve the castle's lord well, and you will be taken care of. Her mother was right. It was better to be a servant inside the castle walls than a peasant out there. So Okiku did so without question, day in and day out. Okiku was diligent and focused, determined to serve the master, his retainers, and his guests to perfection, as if to give thanks for the life provided to her and her mother. As time went on, Okiku quickly found a sense of pride in her work, even if they were menial tasks, like sweeping the floors, tending the gardens, and even taking care of the dishes. In fact, as silly as it sounded, Okiku had a talent for washing dishes, leaving them spotless and shining. So much so that she was requested by not only the other servants, but even the lord of the castle to remain as a dishwashing servant, permanently. She accepted, graciously, bowing profusely to her lord, and as she did, he added, "I will leave you in charge of these 10 dishes. A servant comes forward, her head hung low as she presented the ornate wooden box with the expertly crafted porcelain plates, all inlaid with gold intricate designs, all of them cushioned by a silk cloth below. Okiku's eyes widened at the sight of the immaculate craftsmanship. Before she could say anything, the lord smirked with confidence. "I trust that you're more than capable of handling this task, no?" Okiku's head snaps down. "Yes, I can do it. Thank you for this opportunity, my lord." "Good. These dishes are to be used when I call for them. Understood?" The servant hands the box over to Okiku. "Yes, I understand, my lord." When the day comes to an end, Okiku rushes back to the servants' quarters, where her mother waits, a wrinkled smile welcoming her back. She excitedly tells her mother the news about her new duty and the 10 dishes that their lord entrusted her with. "I am so happy for you, Okiku. These old hands, they don't work like they used to, and as the years go on, I fear..." Okiku's mother shakes her head. "I couldn't be more proud of you, Okiku. You are my daughter through and through. Do not fail our lord," she says, taking Okiku's hands. Okiku cared for the dishes as if her life depended on it, keeping them away from the normal ones, and even using a separate pot of water. She'd ensure that every one of the 10 dishes were spotless and dry before gently placing each one back into the ornate wooden box onto the bed of silk, like a mother putting her children to bed. Needless to say, the lord of the castle was impressed, and so were his guests. These dishes truly were one of his most prized possessions. One day, the lord decided to host a small party for his retainers as a sort of appreciation for their service to him. And what better way to show them gratitude than to serve them on his precious dishes? Upon the lord's request, Okiku set 1 dish in front of each of the lord's retainers, handling them with a cloth as to not get any smudges or fingerprints on them. Every one of the retainers commented on the beauty of the dish, complimenting the lord for his taste, all except one. His eyes were fixed on Okiku. The beauty of the dish could not compare to hers, not in the slightest. Her black hair tied perfectly. It looked as if a master calligrapher stroked every strand. Her almond-shaped eyes, soft and caring, he could stare at them for hours on end. And her skin, fair and delicate, more pristine than the dish that was set in front of him. How had he not noticed her before? The feeling of one swirled inside of him. "I need her to be mine," he thought to himself. Eventually, the party came to an end. The retainer could not think of anything else other than Okiku. Then, as if the heavens were answering his prayers, Okiku appeared to gather the Lord's precious dishes. His eyes snapped to her like a starving wolf, inhaling her scent as she excused herself to retrieve the dish in front of him. As she left, he excused himself, chasing after Okiku as she headed towards the kitchen. He called out to stop her. "Hey, servant girl!" Okiku stops in her tracks, slowly turning to see one of the retainers. Worried she may have done something wrong, she grips the box of dishes, bowing her head. Yes? I don't believe I have seen you before. I am Aoyama, and you are... Okiku, she answers promptly. Okiku, he repeats, saying her name like it was sweeter than honey. He takes a step forward. How would you like to accompany me for the night, Okiku? He extends a hand, attempting to caress her cheek. Okiku reflexively takes a step back, clutching the box like a safety line. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. I have these dishes to take care of. Please excuse me. She quickly turns and heads into the kitchen, her cheeks flushed. Aoyama stands there, taken aback by her answer. He had never been denied like this. He always got what he wanted. Her rejection only fueled his obsession. Now there was no doubt in his mind. She had to be his. After washing the dishes, Okiku rushes to her mother. She tells her about the party and how everyone was impressed with the dishes. Then she brought up how she met Aoyama, but before she could get to the part that made her uncomfortable, her mother cuts her off. Aoyama, he's quiet, but he's a well-mannered boy. You must have done a really good job to get his attention. She chuckles. Okiku bites her tongue and smiles, nodding. She doesn't want to worry her mother. Besides, there are plenty of other servant girls for Aoyama to choose. Surely, he wouldn't want a difficult girl like her. Unfortunately, she was wrong. Every chance Aoyama got, he would approach her, asking Okiku to become his woman, trying to swoon her with promises of a life filled with luxuries, a life away from servitude. Each time was met with rejection and an excuse to take care of the Lord's precious dishes. Always those damn dishes. At this point, Aoyama grew tired of this one-sided game. This feeling of desperation was new. He would do anything to claim her. Anything. Breakfast went on as normal. Okiku carried out her duties, washing the dishes. It was quiet and peaceful. How odd. Then when lunch was over, it was still quiet. Usually Aoyama would be trying to court her, but today he was nowhere to be seen. Maybe he was out doing a task, or maybe he got tired of Okiku's rejection. The thought of the latter made Okiku smile a little, out of relief. She then remembered that the Lord had some guests coming over for dinner. Surely that meant he was going to request the dishes. Okiku retrieved the box from the shelf and opened it. She paused, eyes wide, then closed the box, thinking that maybe exhaustion had caught up to her. With a deep, shaky breath, she opened the box again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? 9? Her lips trembled as she held the box, looking into it as the world around her seemed to crumble. I can hardly wait for tonight's dinner. Okiku's eyes snapped to the source of the familiar voice. Aoyama stands at the doorway with a slight grin. But I'd love to see those dishes before our meals obscure them. May I, Okiku? Okiku tensed up as she gripped the box tightly against herself. Aoyama wasted no time, placing a hand on her shoulder as he looked over. How odd. I'm sure there were 10 of them. Oh, Okiku, you didn't lose one, did you? Upon hearing the accusation, She spun around, breaking free. No, Her eyes dart around, desperately looking for the 10th dish, hoping that she had just forgotten to put it back in the box. A mistake, sure, but not nearly as grave as losing one entirely. Okiku, where is the dish? Aoyama smiles even more, cornering Okiku. Tears start to well up in her eyes. It was in the box, and I opened it, and it was gone. It wasn't me. But you're the only one responsible for these dishes, are you not? Which means the whereabouts of that dish falls entirely on you. Though, I must admit, this isn't like you at all. You're not one to misplace things. Which means the other possibility is that you stole one of the dishes? A jolt runs through Okiku's being as she speaks up. No, I would never. Surely it must be. Either way, the dish is gone. No one is going to listen to a lowly servant's pleas or tears, which is why I, Aoyama, will save you. Save me? Aoyama nods, smiling. A brief moment of relief washes over Okiku. Of course, you have to become mine. We'll blame this ordeal on a thieving servant, and you will be safe with me. The relief, as quick as it came, disappears as Aoyama presents his offer. The deal weighs heavy on Okiku's mind, but the thought of being this man's woman filled Okiku with dread. More than that, she thought about the poor servant that would have to take the fall if she were to accept. She just couldn't. Taking a breath, Okiku steels herself. I can't. I won't. Please, give me some time. Surely the dish is somewhere. Push me away yet again. I give you chance after chance for a better life. And still you say no. Am I really that repulsive to you, Okiku? No, it's not that. Aoyama raises a hand to silence her. You've made your choice. He looks over his shoulder. Hey, get in here and arrest this thief. Two servants come in. Aoyama stops them for a moment with a hand. Oh, and put the box aside. I wouldn't want anything to happen to our lord's remaining dishes. The two servants descend on Okiku. One yanks the box from her grasp, and suddenly, her world goes spinning with a crack. Confused and dazed on the ground, she tries to push herself up, but her arms give out, tasting blood in her mouth as she tries to yell for help. But that cry gets cut off, with a sharp pain to the back of her head, as darkness swallows her vision. A sudden coldness wakes her. She tries to focus her blurry vision. There's a figure in front of her, lowering what seems to be a bucket. She blinks hard, clearing the water from her eyes. Aoyama stands before her, this time with a wooden sword, the tip pressed right up against her shoulder. She tries to move her hands and feet, but they're stuck, bound by ropes. She looks down, an endless abyss, a black ring beneath her. One of the castle's wells. Panic starts to set in, causing her to sway. If only you had said yes. If only you had accepted my kind offer. We wouldn't be here right now. You have no one to blame but yourself. This is your fault, Okiku. Her cries are cut short from the wooden sword delivering strike after strike. The blows relentless as memories of Okiku's childhood come flooding into her mind. The training and lessons to be a proper servant all led up to this point. How unfair. The beating eventually stops, leaving Okiku lightly swaying, dripping over the pitch-black hole beneath. Aoyama leans in to meet Okiku's disoriented gaze. Even like this, you're still so beautiful. I don't want to harm you anymore, Okiku. So please, for your sake, be mine. Okiku twitches upon hearing this. Even now, as she clung to every ragged breath, she knew that she would not want her next one to be with him. And he could see that. Fine, you want to be free of me so badly? I'll grant you that. Aoyama brandishes a knife, swiftly cutting the rope that held Okiku suspended over the well. She plummets, deeper and deeper, until the light above looked like a lone star in the night sky. A rush of coldness wraps around her. It's finally over, she thinks to herself. I'm so tired. But right as she tries to drift off to that sweet eternal slumber, a sudden shattering sound startles her. Something followed her down here. It sounded like a dish breaking. Her eyes snap open as rage floods her heart. Her entire being trembles with uncontrollable emotions as they all come spilling out in the form of curses, all directed towards Aoyama. She repeats the curses over and over, her words bouncing off the walls of the well as the light above slowly fades from her vision. A week has passed since then. The kitchen is now quiet. The servants dare not speak of Okiku, though rumors say she made it off with the dish, escaping the castle and selling it to a merchant. Others say that Aoyama caught her, trying to steal the dish, and she received capital punishment. Either way, the dishes now stay with the Lord's other treasures, never to be used again. After all, having an incomplete set was embarrassing. One evening, after Aoyama made his rounds, it was time for him to turn in for the day. He unconsciously walked by the well. 1, 2, 3. His head snaps over to the well as he freezes in place, but all he heard was the wind and his own breathing. He shakes his head, placing a hand on his now racing heart. I must be tired, he says, trying to comfort himself. His quarters eventually come into view. 4, 5, 6. This time he heard it clear, as if it was right behind him. Wasting no time, he runs towards the safety of his room, refusing to look back as he slides the door open and shuts it behind him. Breathing heavy, he sits on his bedding, trying to slow his panicked breath as he waited for whatever was behind him to come to his door. Minutes pass, and nothing. Aoyama lets out a sigh. Maybe he really was that tired. Dressing down, he tries to settle into his sheets. His eyes slowly droop. 7, 8. Immediately sitting up, his eyes lock onto the shoji door, seeing a silhouette. His face now contorted with anger, thinking a servant had been playing tricks on him this entire time. He gets up and rushes to the door, sliding it open. Cease this, now! I will have you punished! He stops. There's nothing but the cool night's breeze. Confused, he looks around, stepping out, peering left and right. Still nothing. He quickly slides the door shut, shaking his head as he holds it in one of his hands. I must be going mad. I just need some rest. Once more, he settles into his bedding, shutting his eyes hard, trying to force sleep. The sunlight of tomorrow could not come fast enough for Aoyama. Eventually, his breathing settles, but every breath gets more and more difficult, as if there was a weight on his chest. Then, a cold wetness permeates around his body, followed by drops on his brow. Has it started to rain? Was the roof leaking? No. The skies were clear all day. Against his own will, he forces his eyes open. His mouth falls open as his voice hitches in his throat. The room around him falls into darkness, his eyes refusing to look anywhere else. Okay. 9.